Hello sailors, my name's Andy and this is my wife Misty. A few years ago we bought an old neglected sailboat for $3,500 and I've been working on it ever since. I literally learned how to sail on YouTube, but later we both took some lessons. I used to think that sailing was only for rich people. It's not. I used to also think that you had to sail around the world to have fun. You don't. Click subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and join us, and we'll show you how much fun you can have coastal cruising on a cheap sailboat. Welcome to Sailing Soleil. Hello, welcome to Sailing Soleil. My name's Andy, and this is my Catalina 30 sailboat. I wanted to do a little bit of a different video today than I normally do. I'm usually either going to Catalina or boat auction or a DIY video, something like that. But this is more along the DIY line, but what I wanted to do was just talk about some projects that I have coming up. I've got a stack of things here that I need to install, and I wanted to show you what I plan on doing and why I have each one of those things to be installed on the boat. I'm at the limit of how technical I want to make this boat. It doesn't have a fridge, doesn't have a water maker or anything like that, but I eventually I do want to put a fridge in it, but you know, that's still kind of down the road because those fridge kits are pretty expensive. Anyways, I want to talk about all these different projects that I have here and why I am going to put them on, what they're all about and everything, so let's get to it. I'm not really sure how to go about this, so I'm just going to kind of just pick one off the table and I'll show it to you and we'll talk about it. And I'll just set it out of the way and we'll just go through it one by one. But right here, this is a loose gauge. And what this gauge does is it helps you adjust your rigging on your boat. So if you need to tune your rigging of your boat, this is the tool you need. You need to either rent one, borrow one, or buy one. This is the PT2. Make sure that you get, if you get one, make sure that you get one that has the right size of, it's meant to measure the right size of cable that you have. This gauge is going to help me tune my rigging on the boat. And I know right now I have my rigging a little bit loose. I redid my rigging in 2022 and I haven't even put in cotter pins. I've been keeping an eye on it and everything, but it is what it is. So I want to tune it and get it all locked in. So this is going to help me tune the rigging, and when we do that, I will walk you through how it works and the different tension tolerances and things like that. So stay tuned for that project coming up. I figure I'll show you how it works just real quick, a very quick demonstration on how this works. Okay, so what you do is you take this and you put it like that on the rigging, and then you take this piece and you pull the tension over, and now it's got tension on it, and wherever it reads the needle, you match it up to your tension and it'll tell you how much tension you have on your rigging. All right, next I'm just gonna go through this one real quick. I got to rebuild my my dinghy carburetor. It sat for a while and it was running great. Last time I tried to use it, it was chugging, and there's no other way to go about it. Those all small engines always need to have their carburetors rebuilt eventually, so that's one of the projects coming up. Okay, this next one is a bit of a luxury, and I'm not 100% sure I'm actually going to install this one, but I want to show you anyways. Here is an additional Raymarine chart plotter. This is the Axiom 7, and I needed this cable to install this. Because this cable connects it to the network. But Mark from Kill Dragger, when he pulled this out of his boat, he upgraded his to, you know, one of the BINGE ones. I think it's a Vulcan, and this was at his nav station, so he gave it to me. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. But I was thinking about putting this somewhere over here, maybe up there. I have a little thing, you know, like I said, it's a bit of a luxury, because I don't really need two chart plotters. I'd like it to be something that I can keep out of the way, but it would also be nice if I was ever taking a long voyage and I wanted to be down here and I was sailing, I'd be able to check on things. So that's one of them, is literally a second chart plotter. Okay, this next one is this little, I bought this little sewing kit. It comes with just about everything you need. I bought this on Amazon. I think it was only like 23 bucks. I don't know if this thread is UV thread, but it has the quick stitch device with it. Came with all this other little stuff, little thimbles and whatnot. But the other thing that came with, which was kind of nice, was it came with these heavy duty needles, different shapes. And a lot of times when I was looking on Amazon, a lot of these things are sold separately, and it can add up a little bit because you can get the quick stitch for like 20 bucks, or you can get a kit that has the quick stitch and the heavy duty sewing needles and all that stuff for close to the same price. So just do your research. But the reason I bought this is, as you know, I recently redid my, not redid, but I put the anchor chain and rode on, and my splice is starting to come undone. I've only used it like 4 or 5 times, but at the end, the 3 pieces are coming undone. So I have a couple ideas on how I want to make, try to fix that before I redo the splice. One thing I'm going to do is slide on from the end all the way over the 200 feet of road up to the splice is some heat shrink, and I have some 1-inch heat shrink, so I'm going to put that on there, and you know, after I re-splice it and get those strands back in there, put the heat shrink on there and see if that holds it. Another idea for that was this, and I might put some webbing around it and you know, sew the webbing to the end so that it won't come undone. But that's basically because of my splice. All right, I'm gonna interrupt right there because I already did that project, and I did it with the heat shrink, and it turned out really well. I haven't had a chance to test it, but I wanted to show you. This is how it looks. So this is the splice, and the strands were coming undone right here. They were starting to fray because the hot knife had started to come apart where they had singed them together. So I put this on there, and that's what it looks like. But I do know that having a quick stitch on board is really nice for if you have sail repairs and things like that. So if you have a sailboat, you probably should have a quick stitch and a whole kit to repair sails. And one thing I'll try to do is I'll try to put links to all these products down in the description if you're interested in trying them out or using them on your sailboat. So I'll put links to everything. If you like what I'm doing and you want to copy it, you should be able to find a link down there. Okay, this little guy right here is just a switch cover, and it's just a reminder for me because I want to install a switch for my windlass at the helm. So right there at the helm where my compass is, and I know you can't see it right now, but my compass is there. When I installed the windlass, I pre-wired it and brought all the wiring down into the boat here. So these 2 wires right here are going to go up to the pedestal where the steering wheel is, and I'll be able to mount a switch at the helm. So I'll have the hand switch that you've seen at the bow, and then I'll have a switch at the helm to be able to control if I needed to drive up and switch at the, you know, and pull in the anchor rod at the same time. So that's what this will be. It's an anchor switch. Okay, this is another weird one. This is called a DC to DC puck. Now what this little guy is, and let me undo it. What it does is it takes 12 volt and it turns it to 9 volt because I have this this router right here that runs off of AC power. So you have to have a plug. You know, you have to have your inverter on, and you have to have it plugged into the wall for that router to work. And the reason I need that router is my Axiom chart plotter doesn't talk, it doesn't have the right Wi-Fi capability to talk to some of the other devices, and that is kind of like the bridge in between. So I'd like to wire in this puck, I believe, no, buck, I'm sorry, it's called a DC to DC buck converter. So it's taking 12 volt and it's going to turn it into 9 volt. Let me pull that out and show you. So here it is. And I don't know if you could read that, but it says the input is 12 or 24 volt and the output is 9 volt 5 amp max. So I'll be able to wire that in. That Wi-Fi router will run off of DC power instead of having to use my inverter. Because the inverters, you know, they suck up a little bit of energy that you're not really using if they're just on. And these routers and stuff, they use such little energy that it's kind of better to just run it off of DC if you can. All right, so I'm just kind of mocking through all these quick little ones here. This little guy right here is just it's a digital display battery monitor. You know, you get those really expensive ones, the Renogy's or especially the Victrons, and they got a lot of features and they're great, but this particular battery monitor I want to put on my battery box for my dinghy, this guy. So I didn't feel like I needed to buy an expensive Victron battery monitor for that. I just want something that shows me how much power I'm using, how much energy might be left in it. And this battery monitor was on Amazon for, I think, $16. You know, a lot of, you know how much battery monitors are. Sky's the limit. This Victron one here was, you know, 150 bucks or something like that. And this guy was 16 bucks, but I'm gonna put that on for the dinghy trolling motor. All right, since I already mentioned it, I'll just move on to this one. I've got a Victron smart battery monitor here. This is the BMV 712, and it comes with a battery shunt also. So the reason I got this is I actually have a battery monitor here from Renogy, and it has a battery shunt also, but this one is Bluetooth, and the Renogy one, it does something very annoying where when I use my espresso maker, or if I use something that, you know, draws a lot of power out of the batteries and the voltage drops below the alarm setting, because you can set the alarm of when it's going to alarm to tell you your voltage is dropped. That alarm won't go off on that Renogy battery monitor until you charge the batteries fully up. You know, you basically have to have it charging the entire time, and you're going to hear this beep, which is really annoying. And once it's fully charged, the beep goes away. For now, that's, you know, I'm just swapping that one out with a Victron because I'm just such an advocate of the Victron products and the Bluetooth capabilities. It's really, really nice. If you don't have it, you might want to try it because it really, really makes a difference. So let's check out what's inside. Manual in all languages. This looks like the mounting, the face hardware. Here is your battery shunt. And then here is the actual battery monitor. So there's the battery monitor there. And it does have Bluetooth capability. If you've ever used Victron products, you know what I'm talking about. It's just the best. Their app is really nice. And then all the cables that go along with it. All right, this one is just kind of in my way, so I'm going to get to this one. This is the Starlink Mini. Now, I did buy a Starlink, the regular size, I think it's Gen 3 or V3, whatever. I think they call it standard kit. I bought it at West Marine because they had it on sale for $2.99. And then right after that, I learned that the Starlink Mini draws less power, and people were reporting that it still got like 150 to 170 megabits of throughput. Now, when I had the Starlink standard kit, I was on Catalina and I did a speed test, and I did get like 350 megabits, which is really fast. So I am sacrificing a little bit of speed for this smaller form factor and the power consumption. It's a lot easier to set up too. This one is just, you know, it's got the Starlink. This is the entire Starlink, you know, just for comparison. Judging my head, you could see what size this Mini is. It's pretty small. There's only one cable that plugs into this, which is the, you know, the power supply. So you can get a DC power supply for it, and then that's it. It also comes with this mount that you can easily put onto a pole. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mount that to a fishing rod holder. I've already got one mounted up there. I did a video on my old, I say old, but it was still really recently, but the other Starlink standard kit mount that I did. I'm not sure if I'm gonna actually put out that video because I'm not using that. But yeah, so anyways, we're putting on the Starlink Mini. And I got the Mini because I want to be able to take it with me. I want to be able to take it, you know, if I go on a road trip or something, I thought it'd be fun to be able to just take it with me. All right, this one's super simple. It's just some hole cleaner. You know, I got this Starbright hole cleaner. It claims to do a really good job, so I will be reporting back on that. I got some stains on the boat from the fenders, from barbecue drippings, from just using the boat, and you know, sometimes you try to scrub it off with the brush and it just doesn't come off. This stuff is claiming that it's just going to take off everything, so we'll see. Okay, we're getting down to the last few projects. So I bought 2 transducers from for the boat. This is an in-hull transducer. Currently underneath the V-berth over there, that's what my current transducer is. It's an in-hull transducer. That means it shoots the soundings through the hull without having a hole in the boat. This is in hull, and it goes to like 400 or 600 feet. I'm not really sure why I would need to know, you know, the depth more than 400 or 600 feet in this boat. That is nice because it will talk to my chart plotter, and it's NEMA 2000, and it will give me my depth readings for NEMA 2000. Okay, last few. So this one here is the Raymarine. It's Airmar Technologies actually builds it, but it's the ST850, and this is a speed through water transducer and temperature. So this transducer will give me temperature of the water and speed through water. Now that is 2 transducers to do the same job that the triducer will do, but I didn't want to drill another hole in my boat up there for the triducer, because the dead rise, which is the angle, can only be so much, and it would need to be up there, which means I'd need to drill a hole in the boat up there. I already have a hole here for this transducer, so I just figured use the existing hole for the speed through water and temperature, and then I don't need more than 400 or 600 feet of depth readings, and I'll use the in hole over there, which kind of does the same job. And now both of these transducers were about the same price as the single triducer. All right, as far as I can tell, I'm only down to 3 left. Now here's another gift from Mark. As some of you may know, he's leaving to go cruising pretty soon, so if you don't follow Mark from Killdragger, you should follow him. He's going to be heading south in Mexico, and then further south into the South Pacific early next year. But he was cleaning out some of the stuff that he had, and he was gracious enough to give me a rudder sensor. This is a brand new rudder angle sensor. Now, if you remember in one of my last videos, I was sailing back from Catalina, and I was going downwind in some heavy wind, and the boat itself the autopilot wasn't really holding very well. When I was doing my research, one of the things that people were saying is if you have a rudder sensor, it could help the autopilot system detect what's going on a little bit easier and help make corrections faster instead of doing a big, you know, serpentine sway. It could minimize that a little bit. I looked and I found that, you know, they were a little bit expensive to buy them. And then just ironically, when Mark was cleaning out all his stuff that he's getting rid of, he was like, hey, do you need this? And I was like, I actually will take this. So thank you, Mark, appreciate it. This one is pretty self-explanatory. It is another Portlight, and I plan on putting that right here. Whoa, let's just take that down. So we're gonna put it right there. I have that same exact Portlight over here, and it opens really well. And if you know Catalina 30 Portlights in the head, they have that sliding one which only opens halfway. It's super leaky, and it's by now, if you had that one, it's probably rusted out, or not rusted out, but corroded and leaky. That's gonna be nice because I'll have ventilation on both sides, whereas right now all of these windows, they don't open up. So it'll be nice to have my forward hatch and 2 forward Portlights that open up to give me some more ventilation in the summertime. Okay, now here's one. It's another one that I'm not so sure I'm actually going to install this one. If you know me, you know I like to tinker. I like, you know, working with solar and all that kind of stuff. I've always been really intrigued with wind power and wind generation. I don't think that this is going to, you know, solve my energy problems, but I couldn't help myself. Viver, if you've ever seen their products, they had a sale on their wind generator. They claim that it is marine grade, which it's made in a foreign country, so I'm not so sure how marine grade it will be over time, but it was $150 or something, and they said 50% off. So I got this wind generator literally for signing up as, you know, just registering on their website. I got this for $80 delivered. So it came with the charge controller and everything. That's kind of lame. I don't really like the orange, but so it's got this. Take this off. So yeah, wind generator. And here's the propellers. It's got 5 blades, and I'm gonna try to put it on that mast where the flag is now. I will take the flag off. I will give it some guy wires to make it a little bit more stout, and I'm gonna install it on that mast. That's just kind of a fun project that we're gonna see if it works very well. I don't have high expectations, but it only cost me 80 bucks, and I like tinkering with stuff like that, so we're gonna check it out. So that's a wind generator. So that is a lot of boat projects coming up, so please stick with me, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe if you want to see all those. I got quite a few DIY projects coming at you with all this different stuff that I've got waiting for me to install. And you know how it goes. If you don't install it soon, you'll likely never get to it. So like the video, subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.